Okay, welcome to the March 25th Audit Committee meeting of the Albany County CRC. I'm starting with a roll call. I'm Bill Murphy, I'm present.
Mike Betharian, present.
And I believe Wanda Willingham is absent, but we do have a quorum, so we'll move on. First item on the agenda is the minutes from the November 5th meeting. They were distributed with the package. I'll make a motion to accept those meeting minutes as written. Looking for a second.
And I'll second.
Motion carries. So we'll move on to the audit report itself. We have with us Brendan Kennedy of the auditing firm of BST, and he's going to present the audit.
Okay, I'm going to talk like the guy from the Micro Machines commercial. I was lectured for how much time I took on the IDA, so I'm going to talk super quick.
Okay.
All right, we have a results presentation here. You have all the deliverables that go along with this in your board packet. We are opining on the 2025 calendar year financial statements. There's a brief presentation here. Any questions you have, feel free to ask them as I move through. So I'm going to flip past the cover page and the table of contents into the executive summary. We have three main deliverables for you: an opinion on the basic financial statements for the period ending December 31st, 2025. We have what's known as the GAS report. That's our Government Auditing Standards Report on Internal Control and Compliance. That's behind the actual financial statements in that deliverable, but it's a separate report. And then this year, because of our investments in U.S. Treasuries, we have a separate audit examination on your compliance with Section 201.3. We have Treasury bills, and that prompted an actual secondary audit of your compliance in accordance with the ABA rules and regulations. Audit work was substantially completed by the end of February. We received all the materials in the January timeframe. We planned the audit in the in the December timeframe. Obviously, the goal is to have everything finalized by March 31st, 2026 in accordance with the 90-day requirements. No internal control or compliance matters identified. Everything was appropriate, and we plan to issue unmodified opinions on both the financial statements and your compliance with investment requirements. So clean, unmodified opinions on both of those deliverables. Areas of audit focus should look largely similar to prior years. We go through cash and investments. We do reconciliations to make sure everything from the bank ties to the financials. We do tests of details over your receipts and disbursements, making sure you have adhered to your processes and controls. We do consider fraud in the conduct of our audit. There's a number of things we do that range from inquiries to review of journal entries to other tests of details. Nothing came to our attention. We review your financial statement preparation process. There were no unadjusted or no corrected differences either. So the financial data provided to us was the same that's included in those reports. So the financials were prepared properly. And then obviously the last thing new to this year, we didn't have to do it last year, is our compliance report. We did examine your compliance with those laws and regulations, found you to be fully compliant, and have hence recommended a unmodified opinion on that deliverable. Required communications, there is a separate letter that we provide to you folks, a little more detailed than this one page right here that goes through all the required communications we need to make in accordance with AICPA standards. We do review the accounting policies and practices. We found them to be reasonable, no changes, everything again reasonable in the context of the financial statements. No audit adjustments or uncorrected misstatements. Obviously, that's a big deal. Again, to reiterate, the financial data that is supplied to us in the beginning of the audit is the same information that's in these financial statements. If we were to identify errors in the audit, we would be required to present those to you as part of this. There are none. No disagreements, no consultations with other accountants or significant issues discussed, and no difficulties encountered that required consultation outside of my engagement team. We received the full cooperation of management. Anything we asked for as part of the audit was provided, and therefore, again, we're recommending an unmodified opinion, also known as an unqualified opinion, a clean opinion on the deliverables. And so there's no other written communication between BST and the corporation beyond the management representation letter. That's an annual letter that we request management to sign, in essence attesting that they've given us everything that we've requested as part of the audit. So those were my prepared remarks. If there's any questions, please feel free to ask. And again, same spiel as before. If you have questions tomorrow, next week, or the week after, my contact information is back here, and we're willing to catch up and speak with you folks at your convenience.
Thank you. So I think what we just heard is that the audit was conducted in accordance with professional standards that we're required to adhere to by the ABO, and we have an unqualified opinion on the financial statements themselves. We have representations that the audit was conducted without interference from staff, that there were no audit adjustments, that the auditor was independent. So I think we got a clean bill of health as a result of the audit, and the audit seems to have addressed the compliance issues that are required. So thank you, Brendan. There are 4 resolutions that we want to undertake to cover ourselves as a committee. So I'll ask Shannon to explain the purposes of each of those resolutions with respect to the audit.
Sure. So the first resolution is reviewing the independence of your auditor. So pursuant to the Public Authorities Law, you cannot have the same auditor perform your audited financial review for 5 years in a row. It can be the same firm, but it needs to be a different individual performing the audit. So Brendan is performing it this year, and we reviewed and confirmed that he has not performed it for the past 5 consecutive years. The second resolution acknowledges that you just received the presentation of your audited financial statements and would recommend to the full board that they approve and adopt those audited financial statements. The third resolution adopts an audit committee charter. So we reviewed our files and the files available on your website, and we don't see an actual written out audit committee charter. So there is an audit committee charter attached to the back of this third resolution, and it would approve that audit committee charter and acknowledge that you reviewed that this year and that you would continue to acknowledge and review it annually after that. It's consistent with the IDA's audit committee charter and also consistent with industry standards. And then the last resolution acknowledges that your senior management, so your CEO and your CFO, performed a review of internal controls and found them to be effective.
And they made a representation with regard to that.
Correct.
And which is attached to the resolution. So we could take them one at a time. So I ask for a motion to approve the resolution regarding the independence of the auditor.
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second the motion, so the motion carries. Motion for acceptance of the audited financial statements and the audit results.
I'll make a motion.
And a second motion carries. Ask for a motion relative to the resolution dealing with the audit committee charter review.
I'll make a motion.
And second, and the motion carries. And a motion regarding the effectiveness of internal controls. Looking for a motion to
I'll
approve
make
that.
a motion.
Second, so that resolution also carries. There being no need for executive session that I'm aware of, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
We are adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. On to the next.
Give me those.